The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Paul Cronin. I'm COO of Successful Transition Planning. Welcome to our webinar today, The Power of Authenticity, Key to Optimal Living and Leadership Excellence. Jack Beauregard will be leading our presentation here. Jack is the author of 3 books, his most recent one being The 7 Principles for Living with Authenticity. He's also an entrepreneur. He studied at the Harvard Divinity School, and he's had a lot of transitions in life. Those of you who know me know that I've learned what I know from Jack, for good or for not. We're waiting for a couple more people just coming in here, so just bear with us while we've got some people tuning in. And then we're going to get started in just 1 minute. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentation, if you click in the GoToMeeting box there, excuse me, where it says chat, there's a little arrow. Just click the little arrow next to chat, and then you can type your message in down below. I'll be monitoring all of those in the background, and then at the end, we'll answer all your questions. If you have questions afterwards, you'll see the contact information on the very end of the presentation where you can contact Jack directly or me, if that's the case may be. All of this is being recorded, so in the event you have to leave or if you have a technical issue, don't worry about it. The recording will be sent out to everyone who registered, including those who showed up today. That will be sent out tomorrow via email, and you'll be able to watch again or share with all your friends on Facebook. Just kidding. All right, so it is now 2:02, so I'm going to hand the baton off to Jack. Jack, take us away.
Thank you, Paul, for the kind introduction, and welcome to this introductory webinar on the key to optimal living and being an excellent leader through the Power of Authenticity online workshop. I would like to begin the webinar by asking you a few questions. First, would you like to be true to yourself? Would you like to break free from what has held you back in the past? Would you like to connect to something larger than yourself? Would you like to actualize your potential so you can be the best person you could possibly be? Would you like to make a successful transition if you are or have gone through a major life transition, such as leaving your company, retiring, divorce, or having your last child leave home? Would you like to be the most effective leader that you could possibly be? If your answer is a yes, then you want to hear what is said in this webinar regarding the power of authenticity. First, let me introduce myself. Again, I'm Jack Beauregard, and the webinar on authenticity is based on my 31-year personal journey of discovery, which began in 1987 in Stuttgart, Germany, when I was there with my family to pick up a new car at the Mercedes-Benz factory, which we were going to drive around Europe. In the middle of the night, I woke up to a clear message, which was for me to use the skills that I use for external success and apply them inwardly. The message was so strong that I began my inner journey of discovery of who I really am at the core of my being. I will share my discoveries with you in this online session. The content of the workshop is also based on 3 years of research at graduate school at Harvard University. Currently, I'm founder and CEO of Successful Transition Planning Institute, a nationally and internationally recognized educational thought leader that helps people make successful personal business transitions, experience personal growth, and create new lives filled with new meaning and purpose. I've trained over 50 professional advisors to become transition planning advisors in the United States, Australia, Canada, South Africa, and the UK. The leadership aspect of the online workshop is a logical extension of AIR, which stands for Authenticity, Integrity, and Respect Conference and Retreat that was held last October. I opened the conference with a keynote speech on authenticity-based leadership, which is why the online workshop is a logical continuation of the conference. The professional development aspect of the online workshop on authenticity allows you to expand your awareness so you can experience personal development, which is the key of your being an effective leader, being able to go beyond negativity, which is a source of dysfunctional management, enhance your intellectual capacity, and be able to make more effective decisions by applying the thought process of authenticity, and be able to develop new skills to effectively deal with unexpected events. Now let's take an overview perspective of the Power of Authenticity online workshop, which incorporates the important fact that you can never stop being yourself, which is why the personal and leadership aspects of your life are interconnected. The online workshop is convenient since it uses a GoToMeeting app, which allows you to experience the workshop wherever you are. The workshop also supports your personal and professional development by you being able to be in the company of like-minded people. In previous online workshops, a supporting community was developed among the workshop participants. The workshop also provides you with accountability, which is important because so often willpower alone without the structure of the workshop provides can ebb and flow, which often results in a failed attempt to achieving long-term personal and professional growth. Also, a sense of accountability is created by feeling responsible to the other workshop participants. The workshop's flexible, since if you need to miss a weekly session because life happens or business happens, you will not fall behind since you'll be able to listen to a recording of that session. Also, the content of the workshop has a track record of decades of helping people such as yourself transform their personal and professional lives. I have found the false promise of traditional self-help programs is that fundamental personal change can occur by simply listening to tapes or attending a workshop. Personally, I have found that after a short time after attending a self-help workshop, I would feel confused and disappointed when the afterglow of the workshop had worn off, and I had not experienced magical, instantaneous personal change. I was back to the same old negative me. Also, I had so many self-help books in the past, yet read so few of them beyond the first chapter. This is why the online session is based on 8 weekly sessions, since they counterbalance the false promise of traditional self-help programs. The weekly sessions incorporate the fact that the transformation process evolves in your life by degrees. Picture yourself walking up a flight of stairs. And in order to get to the top, you have to climb step by step. In the same way, in order to be the best person and leader that you can possibly be, you need to spend the time and effort required to move up the next level in the transformational process. This is another reason why the workshop's delivered in weekly installments. The logic of having the workshop in weekly sessions is confirmed by an article entitled, "When Does Self-Help Actually Help?" in Scientific American, which states, what are the critical elements of good self-help programs? First, overcoming depression, anxiety, addictions, or other disorders typically requires learning new coping skills over many months or years, not a matter of days or weeks. This is why successful forms of self-help prepare one for a long period of self-improvement. Intense, one-time experiences typically do not provide the ongoing support needed for lasting changes. Also, neuroscience has recently discovered it takes 8 weeks to incorporate new behavioral practices into our mind, body, brain systems. To reinforce the ideas that you hear in the sessions and to make the workshop material more real in your life, you will be able to download follow-up weekly handbooks that help you continue the process of self-exploration and self-development in between sessions. The online workshop is highly effective by its creating a multi-sensory approach to the course material, by its applying the 4 ways we learn information, which are visually, by watching the PowerPoint presentations, auditorily by hearing my voice, cognitively by reading the workshop handbooks, and tactically by completing the exercises. To personalize the workshop material, you will have an opportunity after you sign up to inform me confidentially what you specifically want to accomplish in the program, which provides me guidelines as to how best I can address your needs. We will now look at the structure and specifically what you will learn in each of the 8 weekly sessions of authenticity. The structure of the personal professional Power of Authenticity workshop is built on 3 T's. The first T is your true self. In the workshop session on April 19th, you will discover and connect to your true self, which has been attempting to make contact with you over the years. By any time that you experience a sense of longing, feeling drawn to something unrecognized in your life, feeling that something is missing in your life, you're wanting to be connected with something bigger than yourself, and feeling a gentle emptiness inside, and also you're wanting to live up to your potential. You will also learn how positive thinking has held you back personally and professionally in the past. And I'll repeat that. You will also learn how positive thinking has held you back personally and professionally in the past. How to break through psychological barriers so you can experience genuine success and happiness, and emotionally go beyond all negative conditioned fears and critical self-talk. In the online session, you will learn about a system of self-discovery, which provides you with a powerful step-by-step methodology that allows you to return to your natural state of living and leading from your own true self, so you can experience personal happiness and professional success. The logical, business-like approach of the system for self-discovery helps you recognize the negative emotional patterns and behaviors that prevented you from creating a generally successful life in the past, and recognize the impact of limiting beliefs that have held you back from being the person and the leader that you are meant to be. Some of the benefits of connecting and living for your true self is that you'll be able to tap into a source of your well-being deep inside of you. You'll be able to become psychologically balanced and develop peace of mind no matter what the circumstances you may be in. Also, when you discover who you really are at the core of your being, you will probably discover new abilities, gifts, and talents that you have not been aware of because they're also repressed with your true self by negative conditions when you're a child. You will be able to personally live in the zone of optimal living and professionally perform at your highest level by tapping into your unconscious competency. When you connect to your true self, you will unleash the power of authenticity, which allows you to access the second structural T of the workshop for your living an optimal life and experience professional success. And that is of transcendence. Contrary to popular belief, self-actualization is not the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is because Maslow saw a number of problems with having self-actualization at the apex of his hierarchy, which is why he created a whole new sixth level, that of self-transcendence. The reason why the majority of people are not aware of Maslow's top level on his hierarchy is because he died shortly after his realization, and the transcendent level never made it into the psychological textbooks. Transcendence is the highest motivation level on Maslow's hierarchy, which you can use to make substantive changes in your life, be able to use to motivate and re-engage the people you lead. In the workshop, I will share with you a new mental paradigm based on balance, a new integrated mindset, new way of thinking and perspective, and how you can view yourself, since I have lived at Maslow's transcendent level for the past 31 years. The Power of Authenticity workshop is built around 7 principles at the transcendent level, which makes up a new model for living and leading based on authenticity. The principles have transformed my life to such a degree that I describe my life as BT and AT, before transformation and after transformation. Personally and professionally, I've seen how the transcendent principles have transformed the lives of my clients over the years. In the April 26th session, you will become aware of how the latest discoveries from cosmology prove how inherently significant you are right now. In the session, you will transform the way you think by learning a factual approach to how you make personal and professional decisions. You will become aware of how you can psychologically reevaluate the relationship that you have with yourself by becoming aware of repressed positive aspects of your life, and how you can become emotionally transformed by replacing a negative self-image with one of significance. In the session, you will also become aware how you can spiritually connect your life story with the larger story of creation unfolding. After the session, you'll be able to download the Living at the Peak Handbook. Not only did Maslow realize that the need for a higher level than of self-actualization, Viktor Frankl, the author of the famous book Man's Search for Meaning, came to the same conclusion, which is reflected in his statement. The human experience is essentially self-transcendence rather than self-actualization. Self-actualization is not a possible aim at all, for the simple reason the more a man would strive for it, the more he would miss it. In other words, self-actualization cannot be attained if it's made an end to itself, but only as a side effect of self-transcendence. The workshop applies this fact in the third structural T, which is for transformation, which enables you to be able to go beyond old negative conditioning that you may have held you back in the past, in being unable to go from good to great personally and professionally. I use this true self and transcendent approach for personal transformation when my wife died at 34 from breast cancer that had metastasized to her liver. Since her death meant I was going to be the only caregiver of our 2-year-old son, I was determined that I was not going to pass on my negativity that I was conditioned onto him. This meant that I needed to do a lot of personal transformation. And in the long online workshop, I will share with you how I did that. In the workshop, you will apply the transcendent level to actualize your personal leadership potential. The importance of actualizing your potential was described by Abraham Maslow when he wrote that if you plan on being any less than you are capable of being, you will probably be unhappy all the days of your life. These transformational sessions of the workshop apply an effective holistic approach for you to live at your highest personal and professional best. Over the years, I found people making successful transitions to the next stage of their life is an impossibility if the 5 key aspects of their lives have not changed. In the workshop, you will transform the spiritual, intellectual, psychological aspects of your life. This integrated approach allows you to transition to life with authenticity and become an authenticity-based leader. In the May 5th workshop session, you will learn the second transcendent principle, which expands the way you think to a new balanced way of thinking. As Albert Einstein said, you cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them. In this third session, you will become aware of a both-and perspective, which allows you to experience the joy of awareness by freeing your mind from the delusion of outdated thinking. You will also learn how to psychologically rebuild old limiting beliefs that you may have of yourself, emotionally learn how to reframe how you view yourself in the world from a larger perspective, and spiritually recognize how blessed you are. To reinforce the ideas that you heard in the third weekly session, you will be able to download the Power of Dynamic Balance Handbook. Then in the May 10th, in the new relations session, you will learn how to become intellectually transformed by becoming aware of a continuum approach to the way you think, which fills in what was previous voids in your life. Psychologically, be able to let your healthy ego emerge so it can take its rightful place in your life. You also learn how to emotionally release your need for ego attachments and addictions, and how you can spiritually reestablish the fact how significant you are. You'll be able to download the Transform Relationship Handbook. Then on May 17th, in Reconnecting to Your Authentic Self workshop session, you will learn how to take a substantive approach to the way you think, which allows you to live and make decisions from your core values. You will learn how to psychologically reduce identifying with your false self and emotionally reground your life on the core of your being. In the session, you will spiritually reinforce your identity with who you really are, which allows you to know what you really want to do with the rest of your life. You will have access to download a corresponding Be Myself PDF handbook. In the May 24th Healing Power of Awareness session, you will learn a portfolio approach to the way you think, which allows you to take a holistic perspective towards yourself and your work. In the session, you will learn how to psychologically rebuild your self-respect, emotionally reevaluate yourself, and spiritually expand your awareness of how the unity and the oneness of the universe is expressed throughout your entire body. After the session, you will have access to a 40-page Power of Awareness handbook. Then in May 31st, Making Change is a Successful session, you will expand your intellectual abilities by learning a process way to the way you think. Psychologically, learn how to relinquish the need to be perfect, emotionally be able to develop resiliency in both your personal and professional life, and spiritually learn how to reverse negative situations through meaning. You will have access to download the handbook for making personal and professional change successfully. Then in the final June 6th session, the Love in Action, you will learn an operational way of thinking that allows you to implement all that you have learned in the workshop program. You will become aware of how you can psychologically reevaluate the relationship that you have with yourself, revitalize your life by experiencing true love to yourself, and how you can spiritually reposition your role in life. You'll be able to access the supporting Loving Myself handbook. Included in the online workshop program is a half-hour private coaching session with me between one of the sessions. The coaching session is designed to facilitate your transformational growth, affirm your progress, and provide you with an opportunity to ask me specific questions that you may have. I will read a testimonial from a previous online attendee. I have been participating in Jack's program of the 7 Principles of Transcendence, and I couldn't be more pleased. Jack's years of experience in this field are evident as he helps rise your understanding of the mind-soul connection. His insights and knowledge of the holistic human condition are the most impressive I have ever experienced in my years of attempting to find true personal growth. His program and thoughtful words speak in depth and precision as they gently guide you towards your goals, raising your self-awareness to new heights along the way. He offers a systematic methodology which provides one aha moment after another. You would think the program was developed specifically for you. Ultimately, the gift is a key to open up the door and bravely walk through. A downloadable brochure is available if you want to read additional participants' comments in regards to attending the workshop. You can begin experience deep personal and professional development starting this coming Thursday, April 19th, for the following 8 Thursdays. The workshops will be held at 12 Eastern. They'll be held for an hour. They'll be comprised of a 45-minute presentation by me and followed by a 15-minute Q&A time. For you to obtain a 2-month online workshop, 7 supporting handbooks, and a private confidential coaching session with me, it is only $400, which is a saving of $150 if you sign up now, since the early bird special will expire actually tomorrow. After that date, the price will be $650. If you have nothing to lose by signing up and experience the workshop, since it comes with a 100% money-back guarantee, which states that if you feel that the workshop did not achieve what I said it would, you simply notify me and your money will be promptly refunded. By signing up for the workshop now, you will also receive a free bonus, my book, 7 Principles for Living with Authenticity. The workshop prepares you emotionally, intellectually, psychologically, and spiritually to make a successful transition into living an optimal life and being a true leader based on authenticity. The messages in the Power of Authenticity workshop are those of hope, optimism, growth, improvement, and advancement in your life based on proven step-by-step methodology. Analogy of the personal and professional transformation that you experience in the workshop is the life cycle of a butterfly. Since in order for a caterpillar to evolve into a butterfly, it first must experience a transformational stage within the cocoon. Through this transformational experience, a caterpillar gains the freedom to fly into a new world and for you to enter a new, higher, and deeper way of living and leading. I will ask you a final question. Are you willing to become your authentic self, to be able to break free from limiting beliefs so you can personally and professionally soar to new heights, so you can be the person and the leader that you are meant to be? The choice is yours. If the answer is yes, then go to leadingwithair.com to sign up for the Power of Authenticity online workshop. Here is my contact information, and I really look forward to working with you over the next 2 months. Now it's your turn to ask me questions. Paul, turn it over to you.
Thanks, Jack. I'm just looking at any questions coming in here. Let's see, it looks like we've got a couple. So Jack, what is the number of participants that'll be able to attend the online workshop?
We're keeping it small in order to be most effective and most personal. So it'll probably be, the maximum will be about 10 people in the workshop.
Okay, got it. And then could you go over what happens if someone who registers for the workshop, if they're not able to attend a session?
Sure. What happens, I know things happen, life happens, as I said. If you can't make it for that hour presentation, I'll record it and I'll send it to you. And that way there you can watch it before the next weekly session. But there's also responsibility for that with you that comes with this too, is that you need to have watched it before the next session so everybody's on the same sheet of music. That way there you won't fall behind.
Okay. Next question is so if someone gets into the program but they feel they're getting stuck, can they reach out to you to get some clarification, before the next session or what have you?
Absolutely. My goal, and I mean this sincerely, well, if I'm doing a thing on authenticity, I guess I would be sincere, is that my goal is to do the maximum amount of help I can give you. And I really want you to break through. I'm sharing 31 years. I was weighed down in a deep hole, so it could be a long time. So any way I can help you and share with you, yes. The simple answer, you definitely get in contact with me to help you.
Great. Now, will there be any sort of, say there are people who go through this program and there's more work they want to do? Are there any other workshops or workbooks or anything else that they could participate in?
Yes, there is one thing, you get to your true self and you become the transform you. And it's like the next step is we have a Living with Authenticity guidebook. What that is, how can you be the new person? How can you apply the new gifts, talents that you discovered in this inward journey? And how can your authentic self be expressed in all 10 aspects of your life? So there is a very step-by-step methodology. I share about 40 different ways I practically use on my daily basis. Don't use 40 per day, but to how I can keep contact with my true self, and also is how I can express my authenticity in my work, my interactions with people, all aspects of my life. So you're going to come out to really come out with an integrated approach, because by being you're going to connect your being, the core of your being, with what you're doing, and that way that you're going to experience incredible meaning and purpose in your life.
Very good. Let's see. Okay, we've got another question. Let's see. Will workshops be audiovisual or the same format as this webinar?
Be the same format as this webinar. I actually use GoToMeeting instead of webinar. The reason why I can I can open up and have people talk if they choose to. So that's why I use the GoToMeeting, because of being able to have participants participate.
All right. So perhaps as a follow-up then, so if people wanted to participate via webcam or what have you, they could do that, and while you're looking at slides, you guys can, because it'd be a small group setting, basically.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Very good. All right. Let's see if there's any more questions here. I don't seem to have any more questions, anything else there. All right, well, we promised to keep it to a half an hour, so we are half past the hour. So I will leave it there. Jack, you could just put your contact information up one more time there, just so in case anyone did have any questions. There's how to reach Jack. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Jack, for a great presentation, and we are going to wrap it up there.
Thanks so much.